This short video will explain where the contract controller application and data is held on your server and how to start and stop the contract controller server. The exact location of the contract controller folder will vary, depending on how your company's IT department wanted us to set up contract controller. Some will be on the C drive, whereas other may have a separate drive for applications and data. The naming of the folder may also vary, but generally it will be called contract controller. Once located and opened, you will see a set of folders, one headed current structure, with the latest release code and other past structures. Another folder will hold your live data, and this is the most crucial folder that will always be backed up on a daily basis, as this is unique to your company and cannot be replaced like all the other folders. If we look inside the current structure folder, you will see several other folders. The folder that holds the structure that will be run is the compiled folder. Contract controller is run by an application called 4D. Generally, this will have a shortcut on the server desktop, and again, depending on your IT setup, may or may not be run as an administrator. However, the application should have been set to run according to the required setting. Once run, this will in turn run the contract controller application, which then links to your live data. So, we are now ready to start the server by running the 4D application. If it's set to run as an administrator, you may need to confirm that this is okay to run. The server will then start and present you with a grey screen with menus along the top. If you are simply restarting the server, and no folders have moved or been renamed, you can select the Open Recent function from the File menu, and then select the compiled version under Recent Project. Once started, the system will then ask you to confirm that you are running a live system. Click the Yes, Live System button and the server will now be ready for users to connect. If the server had been down when a backup was scheduled to be run, this will run automatically and won't allow users to connect until it's finished backing up. There is another way of starting the server to ensure that the correct structure and data is being used. This will need to be used if any of the contract controller folders have been moved or renamed. Again, start the 4D server as before, but this time select the Open function from the File menu. You will then need to navigate to the correct structure to open. This will be located in the Contract Controller folder, headed Current Structure, followed by a Release version. Open this folder and then open the compiled folder. Before selecting the structure with the release code, to ensure that you are going to link to the correct data, change the selection of Current Data File to Choose Another Data File. This will force you to select the correct data once you have opened the structure. Then select the compiled structure and click the Open button. You will then need to navigate to the Live Data folder and then open this to select the data file. This may be called CC Data or your company name data. Once selected, click the Open button and Contract Controller will start to run. As before, you will need to indicate that this is a live system. Again, if a backup is due to run, this will run automatically before users can log on to the system. So now we have the system up and running. You can also see that we now have users connected. If we need to restart the server that is running Contract Controller, we must first close down the Contract Controller server. Ideally, all users should be logged off before this is done. However, there will quite often be the case when a user has left for the day and not logged out. 9 times out of 10 it will be okay to close the server without the user logging off, but there is a slim chance that if a user is working on the system and in the middle of saving data, the data may get corrupted. We would recommend that in this instance, you run a backup of the data before disconnecting the server. This is simply done by going to the File menu and selecting Backup, and then clicking the Backup button. This will then run the backup and you may then close the server. As you will see, we are also running a user from the server, and users will see when a backup is being run. Select Quit from the File menu, select the Disconnect All Clients and Quit option and then click the OK button. This will then close the Contract Controller server and allow you to perform whatever maintenance requirements are needed on the server, before restarting the Contract Controller server again. One common problem with trying to restart a system with many users in a working day is that when asked to log off, some users will log off straight away and others may take ages. This causes an issue, as the users that logged off quickly will then try and log back on again, assuming that the system is back up and running. To prevent this from happening, you can click the Reject New Connections button, and this will prevent users from logging back on again until the server has restarted. Another way to persuade users to log off is to select the quit function and set the disconnect from server in X amount of minutes. This will then alert users to this, and once all disconnected, or the time is reached, the server will close. A couple of things to note. Don't assume the server isn't running if you don't see the administration window on the screen. It might be that this has been minimized for some reason, although there should be no need for this to have been done. To restore the window, either click the Maximize window, if you can see it, or go to the menu, and from the window menu select Administration. We generally leave the window showing the users connected. The other common error we see when starting the server is that the 4D client is run rather than the 4D server. Even if they haven't been clearly named, the server is the one with the icon of disks on it, and this is the correct server application. So, thank you for taking the time to look at this short video, and hopefully it will have helped you with this area of Contract Controller. If you need more assistance with using Contract Controller, or would like more information, please do get in touch.